Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and in today's video, I will be bringing you guys my official 2025 training camp preview for the Commanders. I'll be talking about position battles, players to watch, and some of the top storylines going into camp. So before we get into all of that in today's video, make sure you guys leave a like down below, subscribe if you're not already subbed up, and turn on notifications. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into today's video. Alright, so training camp starts on Wednesday, July 23rd. The vets report tomorrow, July 22nd. Man, I'm super excited for camp, man. Football is finally back. It feels so right after months. There's a preseason game next Thursday, July 31st, between the Lions and the Chargers. I know it's on the Hall of Fame game, but it's football, and you already know I'm going to watch, so I'm super excited for that. But this week, obviously, training camp kicks off for the Commanders and the rest of the NFL. And for the Commanders, there are some storylines heading into camp. I would say that the main storyline, not related to what goes on the football field, is Terry McLaurin obviously not getting paid yet. And, you know, the hope is he gets paid before camp, but at this point, I don't really think that'll happen. Maybe it happens, you know, sometime tomorrow. I know AP and DQ have their press conference tomorrow before the start of training camp, so we'll see what they have to say about the situation. But don't think Terry will get paid before camp starts, but hopefully he will get paid, and I'm confident that he will get paid somewhere within the first week or two of camp. But I think the top two storylines heading into camp is how will Jayden Daniels and the offense take that next step this year, and how improved did the defense get this offseason? How much better did the defense get this offseason? Obviously, last year, the defense, they weren't terrible, but they weren't the best in certain situations, in certain areas. Obviously, defending the run, taking away the ball, and late game situations were the three main things that the defense just wasn't good at last year. So hopefully, they can improve at that this year. And then with the offense, we were so good on offense last year, but now we added pieces like Deebo Samuel, Connor Lee, and Tunsil on the O-line, right? So with those additions and year two, Jayden Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury, how much better can the offense be this year? Now I want to talk about some position battles heading into training camp. Don't think there's a lot of position battles this year. I feel like we know who our starters will be and who our backups will be at most positions, but at some positions, some spots are definitely still up for grabs, like quarterback 3. I think we're only going to keep 3 quarterbacks. It wouldn't make sense to keep 4. Obviously, JD5 is our starter. Marcus Mariota is our backup. But who will be our third-string quarterback, Josh Johnson or Sam Hartman? This is Sam Hartman's second year, and Josh Johnson is 39 years old. He's been on over a dozen NFL teams at this point, and he was obviously with us back in 2018, right? So Josh Johnson is a very reliable third-string quarterback, and will we decide to go with him, the reliable vet, as our third-string quarterback, or the young buck and Sam Hartman as our QB3 to allow him to further grow and develop? So we'll see what happens, and even if we decide to keep Johnson over Hartman, Hartman would still probably end up back on the practice squad, so we probably wouldn't even, lose him, right? But it will be interesting to see who wins that QB3 spot. Another position battle is the receiver 6 spot, in my opinion. I feel like there's 5 locks on the roster right now at receiver. Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Noah Brown. It looks like he's fine. Looks like the injury wasn't that bad. I've seen a lot of posts of him moving around and stuff like that. He's fine. Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane. So those 5 guys are locks at receiver. The 6th guy, however, still up for grabs, in my opinion. I think it could be one of 3 guys: Michael Gallup, KJ Osborne, and Ja'Cory Brooks. I'm really rooting for Ja'Cory Brooks right now because I feel like he has a lot of potential as an undrafted rookie receiver. But realistically, I think the spot will go to Michael Gallup or KJ Osborne. And a lot of people have been saying Michael Gallup, but for me, I think it'll be KJ Osborne. They brought him back for a reason. They want to give him another shot, and I think that he will prove to them that he deserves to be on the roster. So I think KJ Osborne will be the 6th guy, but we shall see. But the receiver 6 spot, definitely one that is up for grabs. And then the DN position, I feel like that is a position that, I don't think all the spots are secured yet. The guys who I think are locks at DN right now are Von Miller, of course, Dorrance Armstrong, Dietrich Wise, and I could say Jacob Martin. Although Jacob Martin, I think there's maybe an outside chance he gets cut, but not 100% sure he gets cut. Jalen Holmes, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, and Clelin Ferrell, in my opinion, are all fighting for a roster spot. So, going to be pretty competitive at the DN position. It'll be super interesting to see who they keep on the roster. Now, when it comes to players I will be watching and you should be watching as well, I first want to start with the new additions this offseason as free agents or trade acquisitions. We brought in, obviously, Deebo Samuel, Laremy Tunsil, Javon Kinlaw. Those were our 3 big free agents / trade acquisitions. Going to be really excited to watch Deebo Samuel and how he will be used in this offense throughout training camp, how Cliff plans to use him. That'll be super, super exciting. I think him and Terry Mann could make a deadly duo. Laremy Tunsil, getting him to bolster up the left tackle spot, getting a legit left tackle for Jaden Daniels. That's just amazing right there. So excited to see how he performs. And then Javon Kinlaw. That signing was heavily criticized because a lot of fans believe that Kinlaw shouldn't have gotten that much money. We'll see if he proves to be worth the amount of money he got. So definitely intrigued to watch him in camp as well. And other guys like Dietrich Wise, Jonathan Jones. Also interested to see how Marshawn Lattimore performs. Obviously, Lattimore wasn't acquired this offseason, but he was acquired at the deadline, the trade deadline. So he is kind of a newer acquisition, and he isn't coming off of his best season, but that's because he was hurt. So with a full offseason, it'll be interesting to see how Lattimore performs this season. So I'm super excited to see how Marshawn Lattimore performs during training camp. I'm also really excited to see the rookies and the second-year guys. Let's start with the rookies. Josh Conerly Jr., obviously our first-round pick. He will be starting for us at right tackle most likely this season, so it'll be interesting to see how he looks and develops at right tackle. Second-round pick Trey Amos, finally signed him last Friday, which is really, really good. Super excited to see him, man. I think Trey Amos has the potential to be a great cornerback, Pro Bowl, maybe even all-pro cornerback one day in the NFL, so super excited to see him. Jalen Lane on special teams as a punt returner, but also as an actual receiver, so it'll be exciting to see him. K. Madrano, how will he develop? He'll be getting a lot of usage on special teams, but, maybe he can make an impact on defense. We shall see. And then Jacory Crosky-Merritt. He has a lot of potential, man. Jacory Crosky-Merritt has traits that no other running back in this backfield has, and he was a 7th-round pick, so hey, man, if Crosky-Merritt balls out, shows out during training camp and the preseason, he could really get some meaningful snaps this upcoming season and contribute a big part to the offense this season. And then with the second-year guys, obviously you have Jaden, who was amazing for us last year, of course, and I'm super excited to see how he continues to develop and get better this year. And we got Cliff back, so, that duo is just unstoppable. They were unstoppable last year, and super excited to see what they got cooking up for us this year. Johnny Newton, this is going to be a big year for him. He needs to show that he was worth the value and where we picked him at, pick number 36 overall. We got high hopes for Johnny Newton, so hopefully he can turn into a solid D tackle, maybe better than solid because we drafted him with a high second-round pick, but I just need Johnny Newton to be good because he has talent. He has a lot of talent, and the coaching staff, obviously the front office, has belief in him to turn out to be what they drafted him to be. Mikey Sanderson was awesome for us last year on the outside. He's going to move back into the inside this year, so super excited to watch him. Ben Sinnott, another guy who needs to prove himself this year. Zach Ertz will be our tight end one again, but Sinnott this year, his goal is to prove to the staff, to the team, that once Ertz leaves, he can be the tight end one for the team. Brandon Coleman, he's going to be a left guard this year. I think he could be a really, really good left guard in the NFL, man. So super excited to watch him. Luke McCaffrey, his second year in the NFL, his 4th year as a receiver. So he's going to continue to develop, and hopefully he can take the next step this year. And then Jordan McGee, Dominique Hampton, Javonte Jean-Baptiste. Super excited to watch Jordan McGee, man. He's going to have a big role in this defense this upcoming season, man. And we'll see how Dominique Hampton develops and whether or not he will even make this roster, to be honest with you. But, you know, we'll see how he performs and how Javonte Jean-Baptiste performs as well. So, again, super excited to watch the rookies and the second-year guys. So that is it for today's video. 2025 training camp preview. Again, super excited for training camp. I guess one thing I forgot to mention is the safety room. You know, how will the safety room look? Right now, our starters are Quan Martin and Will Harris, but our depth isn't great. You know, we're like 1 or 2 injuries away from Jeremy Reaves having to start. So, you know, we're really going to have to be banking on Quan Martin and Will Harris staying healthy. And what will Will Harris look like? We don't know, right? So our safety room is a little bit questionable right now, so definitely going to be keeping a close eye on the safety room during training camp and in the preseason for sure. But again, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below what you will be watching for during training camp. And other than that, it's me, King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.